There is an obsession that runs through all of modern sports. Comparing. Comparing players, comparing eras, comparing styles, comparing numbers that don't always mean the same thing. We need to put everything into a table, into a ranking, into a clear hierarchy. Who was better? Who won more? Who deserves to be on top? But that obsession has a problem. It assumes that everything is comparable, and it isn't. In the last few hours, Roger Federer spoke about Lionel Messi, and he said something that, without raising his voice, breaks that entire system. It's difficult to compare us. A simple sentence, but a deeply disruptive one. Federer is not someone who speaks at random. He's not someone who needs headlines. He's not someone who gets into cheap debates. Federer knows exactly what he's saying, and he knows exactly when to say it. That's why this sentence is not accidental. It's not diplomatic. It's not neutral. It's a statement of position. To say that someone is difficult to compare is to accept that the usual tools are not enough. And that, in modern sports, is almost a provocation. To understand the weight of his words, you have to understand who Federer is. For almost 20 years, Federer was the reference point in tennis. Everything went through him. Everything was compared to him. Every Grand Slam, every final, every loss. Federer was questioned even when he was winning. He was debated even while dominating. He knows what it's like to carry history while you're still playing. That's why when someone like him decides not to compare, it's not because he can't. It's because he chooses not to. Federer is not saying, Messi is better than me. He's not even saying, Messi is the best in his sport. He's saying something more complex, that Messi doesn't follow the same logic, that Messi doesn't fit into the same equation, that Messi doesn't allow himself to be translated into simple formulas. And that makes people uncomfortable. Because the sports system lives off simplification. Messi, on the other hand, adds complexity. The big mistake when analyzing Messi is trying to understand him only through statistics. Yes, he has goals. Yes, he has titles. Yes, he has records. But that's just the surface. Messi changes games without touching the ball. Messi organizes attacks while walking. Messi conditions defenses with his mere presence. There are players who participate. There are players who execute. And there are players who orchestrate. Messi belongs to that last group, and that doesn't always show up in the numbers. Federer understood Messi because he did something very similar in tennis. He didn't need to impose himself through strength. He didn't need to win every point with violence. He won through reading the game, through timing, through anticipation. Federer and Messi share something fundamental. They make their sport look simpler than it really is. And only the truly exceptional can do that. Many dominate a sport. Few transform it. Dominating is winning. Transforming is changing the invisible rules. After Messi, football is played differently. Intelligence is valued more. The pause, the right decision. Federer recognizes this because he was also a transformer. And among transformers, there is no possible comparison. Messi didn't respond to Federer. He didn't make a post. He didn't give an interview. Because he never does. Messi doesn't need to validate praise. He doesn't need to amplify other people's words. His career isn't sustained by speeches. It's sustained by facts. And that, once again, is something Federer understands perfectly. This sentence also says something else, even if it doesn't name it directly. It says that not everyone is playing the same game, that not everyone is looking for the same thing, that not everyone builds their legacy in the same way. There are those who need to compare themselves, and there are those who transcend comparison. Federer, without naming names, made that very clear. In a world obsessed with measuring everything, Federer chose to recognize something different, that there are figures who cannot be compared. They are accepted. Lionel Messi is one of them, not because he has more numbers, not because he has more titles, but because he plays a kind of football that doesn't fit on the same scale. And when someone like Roger Federer says it, maybe there's no need to argue so much, because there are truths that don't need debate.